What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to rebirthedu.com. I'm your host, Kendrick, aka Also the Great. Back with another book, y'all. So we're gonna jump into The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. Amazing, amazing, amazing book. This book is gonna help you start your day the way you always want to start your day, and it'll help you be consistent with things that you want to work on. Because you knock it out at your most productive time, which is early in the morning. No distractions, none of all that stuff. If you're trying to lose weight and you need to exercise, this will help you be consistent with that. If you're trying to learn something, a new skill set, this will help you be consistent with that. It's super dope because this helps you form good habits, okay? And that's crucial, right? So let's hop right into it. The first few chapters, he talks about his story. He got in a car wreck, broke everything in his body, died, got brought back, a lot of stuff, right? But through all that adversity, he used these methods that he talks about in his book to help him propel his life to success. Guy's walking again. He's out here. He's a keynote speaker now. He was a top dog at his company, even after everything that happened. Amazing, amazing story. You should definitely check it out. I'll probably leave a link to the audiobook in the description of this. You can find almost anything on YouTube. I personally own the audiobook through Audible. I get, every month I'm always getting stuff. I got plenty of credits that I just use up, and I read books, and I read. Love it. That's actually part of my routine. It should be part of yours as well. But YouTube is amazing. You can find anything on here, man, if you dig hard enough. So I'll put the link to another channel that just so happens to have uploaded the audiobook. So that way you got no excuses. And remember, we made a video a while back about excuses being like buttholes, and everybody's got them. Hey man, get rid of them. I mean, keep your butthole, but get rid of the excuses, man. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. You know what else is free? The like button. Hit like, hit subscribe. Don't cost you anything. Share this with a friend, and help a brother out. Right? I'm trying to help y'all. Help me. So let's dive right into the book. He tells his story, but this is the most important part. We're going to skip a few ahead, maybe 3 to chapter 3. The 95% reality check. I wrote this down because I really wanted to make sure I got this right. And I really want to see how accurate it was. And it holds pretty true. Let's break this down. The 95% reality check. What does that mean, Kenny? I'll tell you. So, the U.S. Census, if they take any group of 100 people, okay? We use 100 people because we like to use percentages, right? Makes the numbers easy. You get any group of 100 people, and you break down their life from when they started working, okay? So the 40 years that they work up until retirement age, which I believe is 65, could be more, could be less. But if you take that snippet of their life, this is what it comes out to be. So out of those 100 people, 1 are going to be wealthy, 4 are going to be financially secure, 5 are going to keep working because they have to, not because they want to. 5 are going to keep working because they need to in order to survive. 36 of those are going to be dead. 54 of those are going to be broke, either dependent on friends, dependent on family, relatives, or depending on the government for their survival, to take care of them. That is an astounding set of numbers. That means out of 100 people, only 5 of them are going to be okay, are going to be living their best life, are going to be free, have financially free, stress free, or at least monetarily. That's incredible. So what can we do? What can we do about this? Right? It seems pretty overwhelming. And so the first thing that you have to do is you have to actually acknowledge the 95% rule. And Hal speaks about this as well. You have to acknowledge that this rule exists. Okay? In your mind, you probably can think of people that, well, this guy's doing okay, and this guy's doing okay, and this guy, and you may be right. Here's the thing, that doesn't make the rule non-existent. These people are the exception to the rule. They might be part of the 5%. Get 100 people you know, and then snip out that 40 years. Talk to some of these old cats and ask them, yo, is this what you planned your life to be? Paycheck to paycheck. You know, maybe you got your house paid off. That's cool. But you're living off of Social Security, and that's just your life. And most people are going to tell you no. Most people are not living the life they dreamed of, right? Nobody dreams of poverty. Nobody wakes up and they just, man, I really hope to struggle for the whole of my life. For my whole life, I hope I struggle the whole way through, and then when I'm dead and gone, I leave nothing for anybody. For the next generation, nothing. That's what I hope for. And that's not the case, guys. And we know this. So we have to acknowledge that this rule exists, right? And most of the people that you know are going to fall into the 95%. That means that's your friends, that's your family. There's 100 people in your family. Only 5 of them are going to be okay. And the rest of them are going to struggle or die early or something. And they're going to live a mediocre life. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's pretty mediocre. You work 40 years, 40 hours a week. That way when you retire, they only give you 40% of what you were making. And in return, we'll give you a couple weeks off a year so you can enjoy yourself and spend the little money you got. And that's your whole life. Right? So, what are the causes of mediocrity? That's the next thing we got to work on. 1, we got to acknowledge the rule. We have to accept that that's going to be most people that you know. Okay? Including you, if you don't do what it takes to get out of that 95%, because it does take action. Okay? So, second thing, what are the causes of mediocrity? And I wrote some of this down as well. Hal talks about it pretty in depth, but I'll break it down for you real quick. It won't take that long. Causes of mediocrity is the RMS. That's the rear view mirror syndrome. Okay. Always looking back, thinking, well, I used to do things this way, or this is how things used to be, or I always handle situations like this. I always have in the past. And it's really difficult to move forward when you're always looking backwards. You got to accept the fact that you could be wrong on some things. And the way you can tell if you're wrong on something is based on the results that you're getting, right? If you were always a certain way with money, and money has always been scarce for you, chances are, well, not no chances are, the fact is, what you're doing with your money is wrong. Okay? And you can say, well, I always did this and I was always taught this. Sad to say, you were taught wrong. So that needs to change. You need to consider the possibility that what you have been doing for the entirety of your life is wrong. And sometimes that can be a big shock. But it has to be addressed. It's the only way to move forward. You cannot drive down the highway backwards looking at this little bitty mirror, sitting up here telling you what your past used to be. You gotta look forward. That's why the windshield is so much bigger than the rearview mirror, right? So next thing would be probably the lack of purpose. Like, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Why do you wake up in the morning? Right? Is it because somebody told you to? Is it because I have to get up and I have to go to this job so I can make this money, so that way I can pay Uncle Sam and I can pay these bills and I can just exist? And that's not a good purpose. It's not a good reason as to why you're doing what you're doing, if you're doing anything. Okay, so that's another reason for mediocrity. Another thing is isolating incidences. Now, so what does that mean, right? Sometimes we do, and I'm guilty of this. Guys, we're all guilty of all of this stuff. Okay, I'm not far removed from that 95%. Okay, but the isolating incidences that go on in our brain, where we think, well, it's okay if I miss one workout, I'll work twice as hard tomorrow. Or, man, it's okay if I just miss this deadline a little bit, just a little bit this one time, it's all good. Or it's okay if I come in to work this one time, it's not that big of a deal. And the issue with that type of mentality and that thought process is that you have to consider that everything that we do adds to who we are becoming, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. If you half-ass just a little bit, or you miss a little bit, or so now I'm not telling you to beat yourself up when you do miss something, or you do mess up. Maybe you're on a very strict diet, and then you mess up and you have that one little piece of dark chocolate. I get that it's not the end of the world. But if you make a habit of these types of things, and you just think about it. If you constantly, every time the alarm goes off, you hit snooze, and that's the person you're becoming. You're becoming the procrastinator. You're becoming the person that's bitter and anxious. You're becoming that person that every day is such a tremendous chore for you. That's the person you're being. And that's not the person we want to be. Well, at least I don't think you should want to be. Obviously, you can do whatever the hell you please. You grown, or you're a kid and you're about to be grown. Whoever else is listening, you do what you choose. But, you can't make excuses when you're stuck in that 95% and you just wish and you hope and you dream that things are going to change for you if you're not changing yourself. Okay? Now, that moves into the next reason for mediocrity, which would be lack of accountability. Man, we talk about that a lot on this channel. Being accountable for your actions, taking responsibility for your lack of actions. Everything that happens in your life is because of you. In the grand scheme of things, it's about the choices you make or don't make. That's going to determine what life you have. I don't have to expand on that too much because, guys, we got to be accountable, right? Next one would be your circle of influence, right? This is something that definitely has to be addressed by everyone, okay? And guys, if you're like me and you're always wanting to move forward, the circle changes, okay? It doesn't always stay the same. If you're trying to level up, it's going to be difficult for you to stay in the same circle if they're not leveling up as well, okay? So your circle of influence is the people you spend your time with the most, right? There's a saying out there, I don't know who says it and who started it, but it's very much true. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with the most, okay? If you want to level up, you start hanging out with people that are on the next level. Even if, let's say they make 6 figures and that's what you want to do. Start hanging out with people that make 6 figures. Even if you're not making that money. Even if you're not making that kind of money just yet. their thought processes and the way they move will start to rub off on you. And guys, if you don't, they'll help you hold yourself accountable. And if you don't move in that way, a lot of times you'll get ostracized from these groups. Okay, so keep that in mind. When you do try to level up and you go to other groups, it takes some work. Okay, you're gonna have to pay attention to what's going on so you can add value to the group, because they're gonna be adding value to you just by you being around them, right? So that's always a good way to think. How can I be of service, right? But let me just get back to the circle of influence. So it's the 5 people you hang around with your most. Unfortunately, because of the 95% rule, most of the people out here are not necessarily going to be the influence that you're probably looking for based on what your goals are, right? So, and even more unfortunate, we're talking about your family, your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your cousins. Man, and I'm not telling you, hey, I need to ditch my whole family and burn that bridge. I'm not telling you to burn any bridges. It's probably never really too much of a good idea to burn bridges. In some cases, it is good. If you led like a for the streets lifestyle, you probably do want to burn that bridge, because it ain't nothing for you out here in these streets, right? But it's really tough. This is a hard one, right? Because you love your mom, you love your wife, you love your dad, you love your husband. You love them. Yeah, it could be your children. I don't know how old you are. It could be your children that maybe grew into adulthood. So it's really tough. You don't necessarily want to cut these people off, but you do need to actively find a way to spend less time with them. Maybe the visits turn into phone calls. Or maybe the phone calls get a little bit less here and a little bit less there. Okay? I have found that the best excuse for not spending time with someone is because you utilize your calendar and you are always booked for something. You are always busy. It is really, really hard to get a hold of me because I am busy. When they say, hey man, you want to come hang out? Man, I wish I could, but I got this. And then when mom's like, well, you don't ever come visit no more. I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Mom, I've been busy. I've been doing this. Hey, let me tell you about the great things I got going on. Whatever. Right? That's a tough one. I know we are creatures of habit. We don't necessarily like change. It is out of your comfort zone. But if you don't change it, your life will not change. And you're going to be right there in the 95% with the rest of them. And you're going to be looking back. And the worst thing you could do is live a life of regret. You don't want to do that. Okay? Next thing, lack of personal development. Okay? This is a big one, man. I think I heard somebody say the other day, and I don't, I'm not really good with quotes, right? Who said this and who said that? I hear stuff, I kind of take it in, eat the meat, spit out the bones, all that jazz, right? But I heard somebody say, the person that doesn't read has no advantage over the person that can't read. Okay? Wow, what does that mean? Right? Even though you can read, if you're not out here consuming information, you don't have any advantage over the person that's, illiterate and can't take in information because they can't read. You don't have any advantage over that person. Isn't that something? It is important every day to take in information, utilize that information to make your life better, right? Your success, it has nothing to do with any kind of luck or circumstance. Success comes with the person that you become, right? The person that you are becoming is going to determine what your results are. If you're constantly working on developing yourself and being the best version of you, success just comes with it. You can't avoid it. Okay? So that's what you need to really be working on. You should be more concerned about who you are versus what you're doing, because who you are is going to determine the results that you get. Okay? So always work on being a better you. And that's a good reason why a lot of people are just mediocre, because they do not work on themselves. Okay? And then probably the last reason of mediocrity will be the lack of urgency, that someday mindset. You know, hey man, you're gonna get this done. Well, I'll get it done someday. Or oh man, maybe one day I'll hit the lotto, and then you know, all my cares are gonna just be out the window. I'll have all the money I want. I can do anything I want. I can go anywhere I want. Someday, a man is gonna come knock on the door of my single lady's house. All the single ladies, and some man is just gonna show up and sweep me off of my feet. That someday mindset will keep you from being successful. It'll keep you from realizing your dreams. It will keep you from being any kind of happy, because you always put things on the back burner, and that someday it'll happen. And you're not pushing yourself. You're not trying to move forward. You don't have any urgency to what you're doing. You haven't set deadlines. You haven't set a date on when you want to accomplish things. And that's what happens. All those things, you end up leading a mediocre life, right? So, third thing, right? What do we do? Because that's what we're talking about. How do we not be mediocre, right? The third thing that you need to do is it's time. You have to make a decision. You have to draw a line in the sand and say, I'm done. I'm done living this mediocre life. I want a bare minimum. And please don't put a cap on your dreams, okay? Everything that you see around you was imagined by somebody. So humans are capable of amazing things. But at bare minimum, I want to be financially secure. I want to have a certain level of health, because I want to live out here. I want to enjoy my life. At minimum, at nothing else, I want to enjoy my life. So I have to take some actionable steps to make that happen. First step is you got to make a decision. I have to make a decision that things are going to get better for me. You have to draw a line in the sand, and it's time to go to work. Okay? If you don't change, your life won't change. This is a fact. It's all dependent on you guys. What you going to do? That's what Hulk said. Not the green one. The bald head blonde dude with a ponytail. Or whatever the hell, however the hell he used to wear. Big 4-head, 5-head. What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do, sister? Gotta draw a line in the sand. Do better. Right? So that's it for this particular portion. We're gonna start going into exactly what the miracle morning is, the exact steps that you got to take, and that are going to create some awesome habits in your life. I encourage you to go to the miraclemorning.com. There's a lot of free stuff on there that you can check out, some affirmations, some other things, the lifesavers, and we'll talk about those on the next part of this. But go to that website, check it out. I'll put a link in the description to both of those things. And when I say both, I mean the audiobook on YouTube and the website itself. And mind you, I don't get paid by any of these. I'm not endorsed by anything from Hal Elrod. I've never met the guy a day in my life. I've actually never heard any of his speeches or anything. I just know this book is amazing. And I know this book set a great foundation for how I structure my mornings and how I get things accomplished. Okay. It is dramatically changed my life, just like all the other books that we've been through. All these books changed my life, in whether in a big way or a small way. This book really helped me create an awesome routine for myself, to where I can wake up in the morning, I can get my meditation in, I can get my prayer in, I can get my reading in, I can get so many different things done early in the morning before anybody wakes up. And I get to wake up and I get to have phenomenal energy. It's awesome. Y'all don't know this, but I'm actually recording this super early in the morning right now. Everybody sleep. The dogs sleep. Everybody knocked out. Raining outside, I'm sure they sleeping good. I'm up early in the morning. I've been up. I've been up for, what time is it? Yeah, I've been up for an hour and a half. Got plenty of stuff done. Went over this chapter one more time real quick. Man, got some good prayer in, got some exercise in for a good little while. Man, I'm great. I hadn't even, man, the day is great. I still don't have to be to work for 2 hours. This is great. And if you jump on board, you'll love it too. Okay? There's a 30-day challenge that goes in with this Miracle Morning as well. I'll let you guys check that out on the website. I'll put the link in the descriptions below. If y'all need me, holler at me. If you don't, holler at me anyway, man.